Okay, folks, we have some slogans up on the board behind Raj and Neil here. And the slogans are a way to, so we say, stave off trouble. I find that if we can focus on one of these one-liners, we can often stop our mouths from getting us into big trouble. And I shared earlier as we had another meeting that the main one for me has become that big stop sign in the middle there. And the reason for that is we were doing a meeting in jail in the detention center a couple of years ago, and we were talking about all these different slogans, one day at a time, and you know, let it begin with me, and think, and let go and let God. And they all made sense, and they all, you know, we could talk for ages on any one of them, but you know, how do we get there when we're in an emotional situation? You know, the temperature's going up, and you know, we're starting to see red instead of the whole spectrum, and it's hard to bring ourselves to something like that. But for me, there was a shot at stopping myself. I could see this big stop sign, and the original one had two hands, one on each side of the stop sign, and you know, I picture that as I was getting emotional, and now it's so tied to emotionalism that it's almost there before I get hot. So from that, I can back out of a situation. I can you know, physically move myself. I can just stop talking. There's a lot of things I can do. And then when I've you know, when the temperature's going down kind of thing, I can maybe come back into the situation in a reasonable way and think of you know, how important is it that this fellow said something to me? Do I need to react in anger? Do I, you know, am I supposed to hit him, or you know what I mean? Those things don't have to happen, and I can reason things out, and as I say, stave off storm. So anyway, enough from me, folks. Floor is open. Anybody who wants to share a couple minutes on any one or more of these, please do so.
I will share. One of the very first ones that resonated with me was hurt people hurt people. And I didn't even realize that how hurt that I had been growing up. I grew up in an alcoholic family. There was a lot of anger, a lot of fighting, a lot of unfaithfulness, shall I say. And it was very hurtful. And I didn't realize that as I tried to fix people, because I'm a codependent person, I tried to make all the hurts for people go away. And with sharing the burden, and with the ability to speak about the hurt and what was in my past, along with a lot of shame. I grew up with such shame about being poor and about being embarrassed about my family and my life. Through sharing the burden, I learned that if you talk about shame, your shame, or how you're hurt, or what you've done, something lifts and frees you from that. And I'm not young. I've gone through a whole life where I redesigned my whole self to look like and be a wealthy person with that other person wasn't me. But scraping down underneath everything, I realized how truly hurt I was. And that realization, through sharing the burden and sharing a lot about the shame and the things that I had done, and even laughing about them sometimes, has changed my life. Thank you.
Thanks for sharing, Elaine.
Well, my name's Eddie.
Hi, Eddie.
I guess for me, what's resonating with me today is just for today. I'm a recovering alcoholic. I became an alcoholic pretty much after the death of my parents. My mother passed away when I was 3, my father passed away when I was 19. Alcohol took me to many different places, such as homeless shelters, in the back of police cars, and hospitalization on numerous times. It wasn't until I found Share the Burden that my life about 2 years ago started to change. And I picked the slogan just for today is because that's how Ed, this person, has to live his life on a daily basis. Once I start getting too ahead of myself, things always go wrong, whether it be financial matters, whether it be emotional matters, whether it be physical matters. They always go the opposite way. And there's another slogan up there called faith. And the opposite of faith is fear. And for many years I lived my life in a fearful situation. I was always afraid to speak to people because I used to have a very bad speech impediment for a very long time. And I used to use alcohol and other drugs to get through that. And at first alcohol helped in certain ways, but then the more I put into my system, the worse my speech got. Faith controls my life nowadays. Some days I just wake up and the only thing I can say is, God, give me the faith to carry on, and it gets me through the day. And I just know that sharing the burden has opened my eyes. I live a wonderful life now with lots of friends, lots of communication, lots of happiness, and a lot of strength. And that's all I have to say.
Thanks for sharing, Ed.
Anybody else?
My name is Alex.
Hi, Alex.
Alex?
People would hurt people. My mother's Russian and my dad's Polish, and he was in the war, and he felt bad what he did in the war, and I had a tough childhood. And at 16 years old, my dad bought me a Vauxhall, and I wrecked the transmission, and when we were going to pick up the Vauxhall, we were doing something that we shouldn't be doing, drinking and driving, and that weekend there was 8 car accidents, and we went end over end.
Oh.
And I thought I was a goner, but I'm still here. And I guess that's about all.
Thanks, Alex.
Thanks for sharing, Alex. I'll share on a couple. Let It Begin With Me is a good one for me. I never used to begin anything like the other person would go first. I didn't speak up in class, and I was afraid of being wrong, actually. But anyway, in the 12-step program has taught me to keep the focus on me and work my program and begin it. It doesn't matter if nobody else in my house is working on themselves. I need to work on myself and focus on what I'm doing, and never mind getting in other people's business, trying to control my kids, my husband, so that my life will be calmer. I need to work on me, and here in Sharing the Burden, I now have a toolkit to go to. I know what to do if I'm starting to get emotionally upset or bothered, or if I myself nosing into other people's business and losing control of myself. Actually, I can't control another person. I didn't cause the other person to be the way they are, and I certainly can't cure them. That's the 3 C's. Control, cause, and cure. But I need to pay attention to myself. So let it begin with me is important. Keep coming back is important to me, because if I don't keep this program in my head daily, weekly, I'll just revert back to how I've lived the last 50 years of my life. In a blink. So the more times I join this group, I have members of this group as my close friends, and I stay in the new system of life that I'm working. So keep coming back is important, and you are no longer alone, because I always felt lonely. And I like to be by myself, but if I stay by myself too long, I know that I'm isolating and actually becoming sicker, losing the health that I need, and I need to be around other people that are focusing on the same belief system and the same way of life, and just even to have laughter and something else in my life than staying by myself. And coming to these groups, I feel no longer alone, and I have phone numbers to call in cases of emergency, or just when I feel myself actually starting to lose control of my emotions. I can phone another person in the program, and they can help set me right back to a balanced state and remind me of things, and I can talk through my situation. So I've used that a lot over the years of connecting with another person here in the group. So those three are really important to me. Thanks.
Thank you, Julia.
Well, you Rush, you got one? Two.
Good.
I go with this too shall pass. As I've told you guys, it's been an emotional roller coaster for me from the last couple of weeks, and I'm still struggling with the night. I feel like I've been attacked from all sides, left, right, center, top, bottom. It's an emotional upheaval that's going through my mind, through my soul right now, and the only way I can stay, focused or stay on the right path or not end up doing something stupid is keep coming back to these meetings and staying connected with my friends. Because see, the irony of it is I have 4 friends here. They can carry me around. Sorry. So, but that's the thing, this is what this group does. It brings me back, wanted to come back because I had an appointment this morning at 10 and I decided to forego it because I needed this group more than anything else, because I needed answers. I need answers to my problems that I'm going through. And this group has given me answers for the past 1 year, and now that's the reason why I need to keep coming back and stay connected with the fellowship of this group. That's from me, guys. Thanks.
Thanks,
Raj.
Raj. I'm gonna go with let go and let God. So I've got a few struggles that bring me to this group. Addiction issues, lust issues, possibly some anger issues. And one of the main things I have to do, and I find myself when I'm trying to do things without God, I start to fall more into those areas, into the lust, into the addiction, into the anger. But when I draw closer to God, I draw further away from all those things. And part of drawing close to God is, I believe, speaking at this type of thing, sharing, helping other people, being helped by not only God, by you guys. I think that's so vital. So that would be key for me. I found myself just the other day lusting after someone, and I found myself through that. She was kind of leading me on in things, and it was causing me to kind of lust, and it was causing me to draw away from God and draw away to the dark side, we'll say. And the lust turned to anger, or to frustration. Then the frustration turned to anger. And I started feeling myself like going further from God. And I mentioned it to you, Scott, like in private, and you helped me through it. And we spoke about it, and I gotta just I gotta reel myself back in. But I can't do it. I need you guys, and I need God. I always gotta keep God at number 1. So as long as I do that, I'm okay. So yeah, that would be it.